Any person who works with animals will be exposed to many different types of bacteria. Most bacteria are harmless, while others, known as pathogenic bacteria, can make us sick. Some of these bacteria can also be resistant to antibiotics. Germs that cause diseases, including those that are caused by antibiotic-resistant bacteria, can enter the mouth primarily when we have contact with cattle manure, animal body fluids, or air droplets from an animal cough. A common scenario where exposure occurs is when a worker has manure on their hands after working with cattle or calves. That worker might then eat a snack or take a drink without washing their hands first. If that bacteria enters the farm worker's mouth, there's a good chance that that worker will get sick from the bacteria. Another way exposure can occur on a farm is from touching an object or a surface, such as clothing, boots, tools, handles, or even a doorknob that might be contaminated with bacteria. Even if the worker washes their hands after working with an animal, they could still expose themselves to bacteria if they touch a contaminated object or surface. Exposure to these germs that cause diseases, including antibiotic-resistant bacteria, can happen through contact with manure, urine, saliva, mucus, blood and body tissues, or with things like raw milk or milk that has not been pasteurized, or contaminated food and water, or any other contaminated object like clothing, light switches, or dirty gloves. Sometimes animals can carry these bacteria, but they might not even appear sick. But they still might be able to transmit diseases and cause serious illness in people. It is extremely important as a farm worker to wash your hands and your forearms regularly. Hands should always be washed after working with animals or with animal waste, also before touching or eating food, and after going to the bathroom. Along with washing your hands, it is important to store food in a clean location, such as a clean cooler or refrigerator, and only eat in designated eating areas. Avoid eating snacks or meals while working with animals, and never eat in areas where animals are kept. Wear the correct personal protective equipment, such as gloves, boot covers, safety glasses, coveralls, aprons, face masks, respiratory protection, and other PPE while you're working with animals, manure, body fluids, animal tissues, or dead animals. We will talk more about PPE in another video. Avoid exposure by having dedicated work clothing and boots that stay on the farm and are cleaned daily. Work clothing must be washed every day. Rubber boots or reusable boot covers should also be washed and disinfected throughout the day and at the end of the work shift. Work clothes and boots should not be worn in personal vehicles or at home. Always avoid touching your face while you're working. If you touch your face, your mouth, your nose, or your eyes with dirty gloves, clothing, or towels, you can get sick. If you notice that you have a scratch or wound, it is necessary to keep that area clean and covered, especially while working. Bacteria can enter the skin through any break from a cut or other type of wound. Antibiotic resistance is a threat that we all need to take seriously. We all play a role in fighting antibiotic resistance. Together, let's take actions to protect ourselves, our families, and our communities. So let's wrap up by talking about 5 practices to reduce exposure. Number 1, wash your hands regularly, especially before eating meals or after using the bathroom. Number 2, do not touch your face, especially with dirty gloves or dirty hands. Number 3, always eat meals or snacks in a designated clean eating area. Number 4, wear the proper personal protective equipment. And finally, number 5, use dedicated work clothes that will always stay on the farm and that will be cleaned daily.